Okay, so for the setup, as you can see, we've done a little bit of prep work. We've separated out. The first thing they say you to do is create the card decks. And that normally includes the character decks, but we've actually already selected our character, so there's not going to be any need to do that. And here we've separated out all the other decks. These two are shuffled. All these others are in alphabetical order, except for Insanity. Insanity is also shuffled. So I'll put these up here. Since these top three are shuffled, these are all put in alphabetical order. We've also separated out some tokens. The token piles here. These we're going to leave on the table, because we're probably going to use these very often as we input new tiles. The rest we've put on a tray that we'll be able to take on and off camera if we need to. But for the most part, this is how it's set up. We're going to keep it off camera, and my wife will gather what we need as we need it. So she's going to take that off and set it aside. The next thing it tells you to do is to organize the map tiles by size. We've done that. That is also off camera, but we just have a bunch of different piles of tiles. Organize monsters. We've also done that. We have a giant table filled with monsters. And if I think of it, I'll try to get a picture that maybe I'll throw into the video to show later. We created our token pools, as we showed you. We're going to choose our scenario in the app. So we're going to call up the app. We are going to go back to the main menu. We're going to start a new game. We're going to go with the basic scenario, Cycle of Eternity. We are going to select investigators. I chose Michael McGlenn, and my wife chose Sister Mary. So we've got Sister Mary, Michael McGlenn, and it won't let me select Sister Mary. There we go. So Michael McGlenn and Sister Mary. Next, we are going to gain starting items. Now what happens is we're going to have a pool of these items that it's showing on the screen. Some of them are actually, like Sister Mary here. Maybe not. Well, even if it's something specific, because sometimes on the card it will tell you what to take, but it all goes into a general pool, and you can divide those up amongst your investigators any way you see fit. So we're going to get some bandages, a crowbar, a fire extinguisher, a kerosene lantern, and the spell Feed the Mind. So if you look, it's going to show you what decks to take them from here. So you've got 4 from the common items and 1 from the spells. So...
And I shuffled up the Feed the Mind, so we got a random Feed the Mind spell.
So as you'll see, when we switch back to the cam, we have these 4 items. Feed the Mind, the spell. And this is a random Feed the Mind of the 5 out there, and then she, like she just said, she just shuffled the other 4. So then the others come from this deck. And what we're going to do is we are going to divide these up amongst ourselves. The Feed the Mind would probably be best for her, because my character doesn't have very high sanity, so I don't want to go screwing with spells. I am, however, probably going to be our bruiser, so I'm going to take the crowbar. The crowbar is a heavy weapon, so it'll let me use the heavy weapon in combat, and it has a base damage of 2. The kerosene lantern, you may discard this card to convert all your tokens, your investigation tokens, to successes while attacking unarmed. Well, since I have a crowbar, we probably should give that to the nun. Although we also have a fire extinguisher, which also counts as a heavy weapon. And action, discard all fire in your space and adjacent spaces. It doesn't really matter. We'll give that to the nun as well, I guess. And then bandages, discard up to 2 face-down damage, then discard this card. Since I'm probably going to be the guy in combat the most, we're going to give that to Michael McGlenn. Did you have something you wanted to say? Okay. So that's it. We've got our starting items. We've divided them up amongst our characters. And each investigator begins at 2 clue tokens. So my wife is going to get 2 clue tokens for each character out of our pile. And we are going to put them next to our character cards here. Let's take a look and see how all this looks on the can. Make sure that the character cards are in view. So my character, I'll put like here. We'll try to keep everything in view. I can't promise that's going to happen because this game's a little sprawly, and as we build the mansion, we might not be able to keep the characters on the table. But you won't be missing much. If we ever need to show you anything, we'll just put the character under the camera. All right, so going back to the app, we are going to continue setup. Now it's going to read, I believe, the opening scenario narration.
You slump into your office chair after another long day. You've been investigating the disappearances surrounding a wealthy neighborhood for 2 weeks, but you have nothing to show for it.
We're not hearing on our end. Hopefully you're hearing the narration on your end. Otherwise, we're just going to let it play out, and we'll continue once the text is all done.
Who visited the Vanderbilt estate. You flip through the files on your desk. William Vanderbilt, a wealthy bachelor, mother recently deceased. He has refused to meet you, but you were able to speak to several members of his serving staff. This is Eugene, Mr. Vanderbilt's butler. I didn't know who else to call. The police think I'm crazy. Unnatural things have started happening here. I'm worried for my master. I think he's in danger. Please, help. Finally, a leave. You hang up the phone, throw on your coat, and leave for the Vanderbilt estate.
Alright. So I believe that'll get everything. So now we'll continue on, and it's going to show us the first map tiles to place. So it says, your car rattles up the uneven drive, pulling to a stop in front of the estate. Several cars and carriages are parked along the drive. However, the butler who contacted you is nowhere to be seen. You knock on the large oak door to no response. Fearing something has happened, you try the handle, and the door swings open into a lavish entryway. Place the entry hall and bathroom tile walls as indicated. I think that top one's the entry hall. So we're going to go back to the board now while we set up. So we're already getting to a point where we're not going to be able to have... Like I said, this is going to be a sprawling map. So as you can see, we have the tiles set up as indicated. Let's bring that back up. Now it's going to tell us to put some things places. Our characters are going to start here by the front door. And as you can see, there's a bookshelf token here. And it's also going to want an investigation token. So we're going to place an investigation token there. And that is a table with a small pile of papers. Next is a mysterious painting of a nightmare landscape that dominates the wall near the entry. Place a search token as indicated. Now that map was actually a token we put. I'll show you when we go back to the board. Next is going to be the silence is broken by muffled shouts and sounds of crashing pots and pans coming from the door to your right. Place an explore token as indicated. You notice a shelf stacked with books and other objects nearby. Pushing it in front of the door could prevent someone or something from coming through. Place a barricade as indicated. The hall continues deeper into the mansion. Place a sight token as indicated. Any investigator in the hall corner 3 may reveal the adjacent area. Other doors lead into the mansion. Place explore tokens as indicated. So before we start our investigator phase, we're going to go back and show you how the board looks. Now, like I told you here, this is a painting token that we put over a door. So you just slide that over the door, and then you put a token over it to show that you can investigate it. The same thing with this token over here. There's normally a door there, but we are going to cover it up with that bookshelf, and then put a investigation token to show that we can investigate it. And now we're good to go. We are ready to play the game. So we're going to stop it here, and we will return in the next video with the very first turn of the game.